This is video 2 of ROBOTC. This video will cover the basics of how to write code for your robot. In this video, we will cover writing the pseudocode, making comments on ROBOTC, making your robot move forward and backward, pivot turns, point turns, how to organize your code, how to troubleshoot your code if you're having problems, and then errors that are common in ROBOTC. The first thing you will need to do is open up your basketball drills program. If you have not created a basketball drills program, you will need to watch video 1 to see how to do that. To open a program that you've already started, you want to click File, and then Open and Compile. To start a new program, you would go to Open Sample Program, but since we've already started this program previously, we want Open and Compile this time. It went straight to my H drive and opened up the folder Robotics Programs. If your computer doesn't do that, it might just go to the H drive and you might have to find the folder for Robotics Programs. If it does not go to the H drive, then over here on the left side you'll want to find Computer, click this triangle, find your student number, click on that, and then you will be in your H drive. You can open up the folder that you created in video 1 and double click to open up the file that you created in video 1. When I opened my program, I had some red X's over here. That's the ROBOTC symbol for an error. If you have red X's, ROBOTC does not know what you're trying to do and cannot download your program to the robot. In this case, I've lost the settings that I put on there during video 1. So I'm going to click on Robot and go to Platform Type. Make sure VEX 2.0 Cortex is checked. And then here's the problem, I don't have Natural Language PLTW checked. Once I check that, now ROBOTC recognizes my commands and the red X's are gone. Notice I've already set up my motors in the previous video. They're plugged into port 2 and 3, and I've called them right motor and left motor. If you're not sure how to do that, again, check the first video. In the PLTW template, there's lots of places where you can type in information that helps you but means nothing to ROBOTC. So you only need to do it if you find it helpful. So project title, team members, date, and section, all of this is optional. I usually don't even worry about it. If it bothers you to see it, you can simply hold the left mouse button down, highlight it, and delete it. Or you can leave it there, it doesn't really matter. Task description, again, something that I usually don't use, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. You don't want to get rid of this slash and star right here because that signifies that you are going to start a section of comments. So everything in between slash star and this one down here star slash is a comment that means nothing to your ROBOTC program. The pseudocode is where you can write out the directions that you want your robot to follow to help you organize your program. In basketball drills, remember we're going to start at the letter A. We need to go past this first line, or at least touch it, all the way back to the beginning. Go past the second line, all the way back to the beginning. Go past the third line, and then all the way back to the beginning in order to complete the assignment. So on my pseudocode, I'm going to put a number 1, and I'm going to type in what I want the robot to do. Go forward past the first line. Now I'm going to have to do some experimenting with my program in order to figure out how long I want my robot to travel in order to get past the first line. So now I'm going to write the actual code to make my robot move. On your screen, you'll see this direction right here, task main with the parentheses. You have to leave that in your program. It tells the robot where to find its directions. This left side curly brace right here tells the robot to start reading the program. And this right side curly brace down here tells your robot to stop reading the program. All coding must be between these two braces. So as you can see, there's not very much space in between them, and I'm going to need to write several lines of code. So the first thing I'm going to do is I just clicked just after the left curly brace, and I'm going to push enter several times to give myself some more lines to write code in. Now I'm going to click back up here on line 16 in order to start writing my code. To make your robot move forward, you want to move your mouse over here to natural language and click that, and then click movement. Under movement, you'll find this direction called start motor. Simply click it and drag it over to line 16. If you want, you could also type in this direction, but I think this way is much quicker. Now my motor port that I want to move, if you remember right for the right motor, is port number 2. So I have two options. I can type in port 2, or I can type in the name of the motor, right motor. Either one will work. As far as the speed, the highest speed a robot can travel using ROBOTC is 127. I never suggest using the highest speed because it'll make your robot very difficult to predict. In other words, when it changes directions, it will turn a little bit different each time, or you'll see that it will jerk around a lot when it goes from forward to backward. I'm going to go ahead and put in 127 just to show you what I'm talking about. Now notice at the end of this line of code is a semicolon. You always need a semicolon at the end of every line of code. Alright, so I've got a direction to move my right motor. Now I need to move my left motor. So I'm going to go back over here on the left side and grab start motor, click it, and drag it down to line 17. I'm going to replace this motor port with the word left motor, and I'm going to replace my speed with the same speed, 127. If you make your speed different for the right motor and left motor, your robot will turn. Now I need to tell my robot how long to run the motors. So I'm going to click down here on line 18. And to tell the robot how long to run the motors, we use a command called wait. So click on wait, and you want this one that says wait time. Click it and drag it over to line 18. Click inside the parentheses and take out this part that says wait time, and that's where you're going to put the number. I'm just going to guess 2 seconds to start with. So now I've got a block of code. I've told my robot to run the right motor at full power. I've told the robot to run the left motor at full power, and I want it to do that for 2 seconds. So in order to give those directions to my robot, I click download to robot. It'll bring up the virtual world so that you can work on your activity. Click start activity, and I'm going to click the triangle to make my robot go. Alright, so I made it past the first line, and I haven't touched the second line. So I'm good to make my robot go backwards to the first line. I'm going to click on camera 2 to show you a better picture. I can't touch this line until I've gone back to my very beginning spot. So now I need to make the robot go backwards. I could make it turn all the way around and drive forward again, or I can just run the motors backwards to make it return to its original spot, which is far easier. So to do that, I'm going to click back on my ROBOTC code screen, and I'm going to go down to line 20. I like to leave a blank line in between what I call blocks of code so that I can go back and troubleshoot much easier. I know the first step worked just fine. All of this information is good because I just tested it. And I go back to my pseudocode. I wanted it to go forward past the first line, which did happen. So actually, I'm going to click here at the end of my first step of pseudocode, push enter, and I'm going to put in my second step. I want the robot to go backward and return to the start line. Notice the pseudocode is green, and so is this over here. That means it's a comment, which means ROBOTC will completely ignore whatever you've written there, as long as you tell the ROBOTC that it's a comment. All right, so I'm going to go down here to line 21 and put in my code to make my robot go backwards to the original starting line. So in order to make it go backwards, I need to move my right motor, and I need to move my left motor, and I need to give it a wait time. So I'm going to click here on, natural language, movement, grab start motor, and bring it over to the screen. And I know I'm going to need a second one to run my left motor, so I'm going to go ahead and click that one, grab it over here and bring it to the screen. And while I'm at it, I'm going to bring up my wait time over as well. Now, these words that are black are not recognized by ROBOTC, so I have to replace them with actual numbers. See, if I click download to robot, it won't work. It tells me there's an error. That's what these red X's mean. ROBOTC can't run because there's a mistake in my program. Anytime you have black words, ROBOTC doesn't recognize them, and you're going to have to change them. So I'm going to click here at the end of motor port, backspace that out, and again I can put in right motor, or I can even put in the port number the motor is plugged into. My right motor is plugged into port number 2, so I'm going to put in that just to show you that it works. Now my speed to go backwards has to be a negative number. So I'm going to put in negative 127. I'm going to do the same thing for my left motor. It's plugged into port 3, so I'm going to put in port 3. I'm going to backspace the word that says speed and put in negative 127. And I'm going to get rid of my wait time. And since I want to end up at the same place I started, I figure I'll use the same wait time, which is 2. Now notice when I click download to robot, the red X's disappear because ROBOTC recognizes my directions. Remember to always click the reset button in order to start your robot over. You don't want to just start from where you ended. You want to start at the beginning every time. Now when I click play, the robot goes past the first line and then goes back to the original starting point. If you notice, the robot is slightly crooked. Watch when it changes from forward to backward, it jerks just a little bit over to the left. That's because I'm running it at full speed. This isn't a big deal now, but it will become a big problem later on. So I'm going to go ahead and change my speed to a lower number. I like to use the number 60. It's about halfway, and it seems to be strong enough to get the motor to move, to get the robot to move at a decent speed, but not too fast that the robot starts going all over the place and going crazy. So on the backward step, I'm going to put in negative 60 for both motors. Now what you'll notice is when I download this to the robot, since I'm running the motors at a lower power, it will actually not go as far. Watch, I'm going to download this to the robot. Always reset, click play. Now you see the robot is moving much slower and didn't go nearly as far. Luckily, it still touched that first line, so I'm still okay to continue with my code. All right, so the backwards step worked as well. It ended up back at the beginning. So the next thing I need to do is make my robot go to this second line. If I click on camera angle 2, we got to get to this line right here and then back to the very beginning. So I'm going to go back to my code screen, find my pseudocode, click at the end of this line, push enter. Step 3, I want my robot to go forward past the second line. Enter. Step 4, go backward and return to the start. Now, if this little box appears when you're typing something in, ROBOTC is trying to guess what you want to put in there. If you don't want it, simply click on another part of your screen and it will disappear. However, if you push enter, it will put in what it thinks it wants you to do, what it thinks you want. So then you'll have to go back and change it and then click on another part of your screen. That's what was happening up here on line 3 as well. Now you will need to watch ROBOTC video 3 to learn the rest of the coding basics.